Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Stadia Source, your number one source for Stadia news and reviews. My name is Avery, and this is the Stadia Source Roundtable Podcast, episode 57. We have got a great show for tonight. So let's get to it. With me tonight, we have, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only beginning and end of Stadia Source. I don't know where you're getting that. Oh, Wheeler.
I'm just looking at Anthony down there.
Editor.
I thought he was talking about me.
No, never. I'm going to try to avoid you as much as I can tonight. Right across from Mr. Dan, we got Mr. Dom, member of the Stream Team Dream Team Extraordinaire.
Good evening. Hope everyone's all right.
Good to have you as always. In the box right below him, it is everybody's favorite marketing maven, mistress, and magician, Scarlet Stream.
Hi, you crash of rhinos.
That's good fun.
It makes sense, right?
When they
like
run into
Donkey Kong Country, and you ride the little rhino, and he smashes through the.
Yeah.
And right below me, it's Anthony. So, hey, we got the all-purpose champ, the man with all the beef. It's Anthony.
Because I'm a cowboy. Oh man!
You start using beef. It's what's for dinner or something.
It's the man with all the beef, like a side of cow. No, I don't know. I'm moving on.
I haven't been working with anybody in a while, besides
We're moving on.
Like a week ago.
Joe's like, what did I sign up for and why am I here? Well, you may know our special guest today from several mediums as a new music artist with some really slapping killer music. Longtime tech lover and former NFL lineman. We got a like pro guy here. It's Joe Barksdale.
Nice to be here. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thanks for joining.
Joe, so good to have you on the show tonight. and for those of you, so our audience is pretty well split between the UK and US. He plays the real football, not soccer.
You mean hand egg?
I play American football. I actually tell people when I'm overseas I'm from Canada, but that's another story. Actually, speaking of football, I was we play a game in London. Sorry, is it okay if I tell the story?
Oh no, go for it. Oh no, we're here for it. Yeah.
We played a game in London. They play the games in London every year to try to get a fan base going. It's the dumbest thing ever. Anyway, we were checking into the hotel, and I was standing behind one of my teammates who had already checked in his room, and he goes up to the front desk and says, "Excuse me, ma'am, there's something wrong with my television. I don't understand the language." The woman's like, "Oh, well, what language is it in?" And he's like, "I mean, it's English. It's just this wrong kind of English. There's this weird accent. They're saying it wrong." And I'm like, "Oh, we're in England. The creators of the English language telling them like, hey, y'all aren't doing it right." Like, ever since then, I've been from Canada.
There you go. It's easier to just disclaim us in this entire country. Just
absolutely.
No. Well, it is so good to have you on the show tonight. We're going to give you a chance to introduce yourself to folks who might not know you. But before we do that, before we get started, did you know you can get the Roundtable Podcast as an actual podcast? Search for Stadia Source on Spotify, Pocket Casts, Apple Podcasts, or whatever it is you happen to get podcasts. And while you're there, do me a big favor. Hit that 5-star button on Apple Podcasts. We have 5 reviews. Let's make it 10. I mean, we've only been going for 57 episodes, but I also never asked anybody to ever do that. So it's fine. Also, if you're watching us live, we want you to be a part of the conversation. Say hi in the chat. And if you absolutely want to make sure that we bring you up, hit that super chat button or that super sticker button, and it shows your support for Stadia Source. Last but not least, you can join Stadia Source right here on YouTube. Members get tremendous perks, such as amazing Stadia Source merch, community play live streams, all kinds of fun stuff. So hit that join button right down below. So, Joe, so good to have you on the show tonight. And so you and I got in touch because I was just surfing through Twitter, and every so often I see people. I look for verifieds. I look for blue check people. So I'm like, it might be journalists I can have on the show or whatever else. And and you posted this video on you have a tech channel. And the myriad things that you do, and about I gave Stadia a try. And it's actually pretty good. And I'm like, okay, well, who's this guy? So I watched the video, and then I clicked through, and I'm like, NFL? Like, wait a minute, hold on. So I Google you, and I'm like, you played for the Raiders and the Rams, and you're a state. Like, what is happening here? So tell people, give us the Joe Barksdale story, and then tell us how you kind of got into tech. And we see the lightsabers behind you. Don't think we don't see those. So how you got into the nerdy side as well.
Okay. The quick Joe Barksdale story. We used to play in the NFL. I'm a comedian now. I'm a musician and a comedian, not at the same time. I don't get on stage and tell jokes with a guitar. I'm autistic. 2 diagnosed mental illnesses. And that's the quick hitter for myself. What was the question?
Oh, sure. So how did you tell us about your history of gaming and the kind of games that you love, and then how you discovered Stadia?
Gaming for me started when I was in middle school playing. I was a really big wrestling fan. Yeah, during the days of SmackDown and that kind of thing. So I was playing a lot of SmackDown and that kind of stuff on the N64.
Okay.
I got a PlayStation like a couple years after they came out. A friend came over a day or two later and broke it. But ever since then, I've just been really. I mean, I've always loved games. I love games for the same reason I love movies. If you can't tell with all the things that I'm into, I can't sit still. I don't have I just can't sit still. I can't relax. So I always need things to do to occupy my brain. So video games was obviously a really good choice and a very beneficial choice for me. I mean, obviously it kept me out of trouble, but I've actually also made friends with people online, and it's been great. Now I'm trying to hold out for the PlayStation 5 right now, which is how I got into the Stadia in the first place. And I've always been a big fan of Google too. So when they said that they were releasing it, a gaming platform, I was already on board anyway.
Very cool. As I'd mentioned earlier before we got started, and I'm hitting the wrong buttons here on StreamYard, that I'd actually pulled up when you had posted some links on your website to your music, and I was like, this guy kind of slaps. Like, this is the music video for Black Magic,
which we can't hear.
I'm like, can you guys hear the audio?
No.
Oh,
no.
Dang it. Did I really do that again?
You just jamming by
probably,
yourself.
You probably share it and
One more
didn't hit
time.
the share. Yeah.
I'm
why
having
is that
fun.
button so
This
small?
music slaps. I'm just
Why
saying.
is man, it drives you crazy.
The most
Here we go.
important buttons are the smallest.
Let's try that again. There we go. So I'm like, you got the guitar licks going on. You got the like. Like I'm gonna tell you, we'll drop a link in the description below.
Please don't copyright strike us.
Yeah, we're gonna get hit from your producers. But yeah, I mean, just fantastic stuff. Check out his stuff on YouTube, Spotify, and all the other places. I would imagine as well.
I'll even pull up
yeah.
if you call me. No, I'm just playing.
So good to have you on the show tonight, and can't wait to chat all things nerdy games with you tonight. Let's get started as we always do with a little bit of roundup of what we have been playing this week, Stadia or otherwise. And we'll start with our guest tonight. Joe, what has been on your video game playlist, Stadia or otherwise?
This has actually been a busy week for me, so my gaming has been strictly mobile, and it's been Threes, the puzzle game.
Okay, I like that game. When it's a non-busy week, have there been any like Assassin's Creed or series or anything you've been into lately?
I've been playing Assassin's Creed, but not the most recent one. Odyssey. I've been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Such a good game.
Once again, I'm trying to wait for the PlayStation 5, but I'll probably end up playing it on the Stadia eventually. When I finish Odyssey, it's a long game, but yeah.
Yes, that was one of the first games I ever played on the platform and loved it. Valhalla is interesting. Okay. I won't get deep. You got to watch a couple of previous episodes for my thoughts on Valhalla, but I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And you got the lightsabers. You could Jedi Fallen Order. Giving that a try yet?
Yeah. But it's hard for me to play it again after I beat it the first time. But yeah, I do love that game. I'm excited. I heard there's a second one in development. I'm excited about that. I wanted to play. What's the game? Cyberpunk. Yeah, I think that'll be the next Stadia game I play.
Yeah, the only good place to play it, unless you do if you get the PS5 or the X, you'll probably be okay. But everybody's like, unless you get like a beefy computer, which you might. I don't know. Anthony, what has been on your playlist, Stadia or otherwise?
Marvel Avengers. Guys,
Shocking, absolutely no one.
yeah, man, I've been playing that like crazy. The DLC, I actually played and beat the whole Hawkeye little story in one shot. That was pretty cool. What else have I been playing? I feel like I've been playing so much Marvel Avengers. Man, I'm usually the guy that pop all around. But yeah, I've been playing Marvel Avengers. I've been, you know what's funny? So many people, because Stadia had a sale, it was 50% off. In one day, I had 3 people, random individuals. Well, I know them, but not they. You know, they didn't know each of them was writing me, but they each said, "Hey, dude, I got Marvel Avengers. I know you love the game. Hey, dude, I got Marvel Avengers." 3 people. I'm like, well, it's a 4-player game. There you go. So when people say, hey, "You don't have people to play with on Stadia," like, well, listen, it's only 4 people. All you need is those 3. But I've been jumping in other people's streams as they've been playing Marvel Avengers. I've been Marvel Avengers all out. So.
Of course, we've got the Black Panther DLC coming as well. You excited for that?
Yeah, we're gonna be. It's gonna be one of our topics tonight.
So you know what's crazy? I'm not the biggest Black Panther fan, but what Marvel Avengers does well is every character feels so good, and they got specific things like whether one character could fly, one character got a grappling hook that could yank them to enemies. So I can't imagine what he's gonna. You know, as a comic book character, I'm not the biggest Black Panther fan, but as a video game character, yeah, I could imagine like he's gonna be pretty cool. He's pretty much a ninja to a point, so I'm looking forward to it.
Now, if you had to compare like Hawkeye the first, Kate Bishop, to Hawkeye the second, actual Hawkeye, those 2 missions, which one was a better experience for you?
I think the first one was, to be honest, the first one felt like it was more of a full story. And the second one, I remember the first one, I was playing it in parts and it felt more epic. And then I felt like the Hawkeye just played and beat it. And I was like, it's really over. Okay. And I feel like, honestly, I will say this. I mean, I try to be transparent. Hawkeye and Kate Bishop they're pretty much the same character, man. They're like, now, granted, I didn't level, like, so here's the cool thing. It's levels to this game. So you could start off with a character and they're kind of like Iron Man, for instance, right? His character's pretty cool, right? But then when you level him up, the Hulkbuster could shoot heat-seeking rockets. They fly all over. So I will say I didn't level them both up to see if they feel different. But from the you know, off the start, they both got swords. They both got bow and arrows. They're pretty much the same character. And I feel like that's pretty sad. They should have at least spaced them out. They should have put somebody else, you know, but to be fair.
There you go. Well, you know, and Black Panther should have a completely different play style. As opposed to 2 bowyer users. We'll finish out the bottom row. Scarlett, what's been on? Has there been anything on your playlist, Stadia or otherwise? I've seen you play stacks on stacks on stacks.
Yes,
but that's only because of the
physical edition. So I mean, yeah, I have a running joke of my stacks on stacks on stacks. I have Stormlight edition where I am physically playing a game of stacks on stacks in my office of cut wood. It just kept getting higher. Like it was really tall and it made my husband nervous, so we had to take it out of the office and put it in the garage. He's like, I don't want this falling over. But it's funny because when we moved it into the garage, it was basically as tall. He's like, yeah, it's okay now. Like, but what if it fell on the car? So anyway, so, you know, just more Pokemon Cafe on my phone. I haven't been able to check on my Animal Crossing island in a couple of days, so I probably got weeds everywhere right now, but that's okay. Wow. They're useful for things. But actually, no, husband and I have been trying to get through Halo. We basically speed ran Halo 2. Like we didn't even bother because Halo doesn't reward you for killing everybody unless it's actually part of the mission. So we just kept running past people and running past them, leaving a bunch of people behind. So what's crazy though is in the Master Chief Collection, Halo 2 looks phenomenal. Like they totally upgraded everything, and like I kept toggling between the old view and its new view just to like see the upgrades, and it's fantastic. Like it's almost like you would expect for like a game as it should be now. Like that's how good it was. And so then you get to Halo 3 though, and they didn't do anything. So now there's a drop in graphics, and we're like, dang it. But what's cool now is I'm playing as Master Chief, and my husband's playing as the Arbiter. So as opposed to being the same character in co-op mode, we're now two different characters. So that's a little bit more fun. But like this is our first time, both of us ever having an Xbox system, and my first time ever really playing Halo. Because like I would sneak like 5 minutes in before piano lessons, because I went to my piano lessons. Miss Phelps, greatest piano teacher ever, and they had an Xbox. And so like my mom would drop me off like 10 minutes before lessons, and then she would leave. And she didn't know my teacher had an Xbox. Okay, it was her kid's Xbox, but anyway, so I'd like sneak onto Halo. Like play for 5 minutes, and I'd always get to the bridge, and I don't remember which Halo it is, but there's a bridge that you have to cross over. It might have been Halo 1, and there's this bridge that you have to like walk over, and I'd always stand on the bridge and try to get to the bridge that's underneath it that's not actually a bridge, and so I just die over it in 5 minutes until my teacher was ready. So now I'm actually playing Halo.
to play. Well,
yeah.
Very cool.
So that's me. There you go. That's me in a nutshell. Eli over here asking if I've managed to play the Immortals DLC, and sorry, no. I haven't been able to touch IFR or even Journey to the Savage Planet, which we claimed on Xbox Game Pass as well, but that's actually leaving at the end of the month. But yeah. Anyway,
It came out today, didn't it?
Huh?
The DLC.
Yeah, the DLC just hit.
Yeah, the DLC just came out today, so that's pretty cool though. Like I actually went in and clicked on it to like see the main menu changes, and it looks pretty fun. I'm all for Eastern lore. I love it. It's great.
Very cool. Very cool. Dominic Schmutzer, what have you been playing?
Good evening. This has been my work week, so not as much as I'd like to, but I've been playing quite a bit of FIFA since it came out. I've been dabbling in Hunt Showdown still as well on both PC and GeForce Now, depending on what mood I'm in. I don't know why, like I flick between them, but I get annoyed with GeForce Now sometimes because every now and again they'll send me like a not as good rig, and like I've set up the graphic settings in Hunt Showdown how I like it, and then the same rig might not be like it's slightly less powerful when you kind of notice it, so it makes that little difference, especially in like shooter games like that. And I think that's about it really. I haven't really been playing much else. I was tempted to get Dirt, but I think I need to wait till a sale, because although the game's good and like I want to buy it, I just think it's £55 or whatever it is steep. I'm not saying that it should have been cheaper. I'm not going to get into that malarkey. I'm just saying, even if it was a brand new game at that price, like I don't think I could afford it right now.
Well, and game prices too. Like I feel like games used to be like $30-$40 when I was like back on PS2 and all that, and now they're like 70 on average.
Oh, I remember like I think games were like 49. Like I remember paying like 50 quid when I used to go to a store and buy a game. I think like because I was always PC gamer, so I don't know if console prices were different. And yeah, like 50. But I guess that's like money. Everything's got more expensive though, right? It's not just games.
Yeah.
So if you
True, so they have gotten better.
I looked this up for some reason. Somebody was complaining about the price of games on Twitter, and so I came up with numbers. And I looked at like the price of like a Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past was $59.99 when it came out on the SNES, but with inflation, that makes it like $100 today or some crazy amount. So technically, we're paying less for games than we ever have if you count inflation.
It's like the people that used to complain about the price of chocolate bars, right? They're like, oh my God, they used to be 10p. It's like, well, yeah, but everything's still more expensive. Like, that's life.
Now it's fantastic if it's just $1.
Think about, so I used to work at Sears Funtronics department, and I actually worked at Sears.
Funtronics department.
Yep, the Funtronics department.
Delightful.
Yeah, so I was there when the Nintendo 64 came out, and those games was $74.99. So a cartridge-based games was expensive back then. So you know.
So
But,
Anthony, how was the Truman administration? By the way. Anyways,
showing my age,
US
right?
history president's joke. There you go. So Dan, what's been on your playlist, Stadia or otherwise?
Stadia wise, not a lot this week. Been focusing on some other things work wise, so I'm sure that will all come to light very soon. But I have managed to. Well, I had been meaning to stream some of that new Dragon's Quest game, but it's just not actually. Every time I've gone to sit down and actually stream it, something's happened or something's come up, which meant that I can't. So maybe next week or something, we'll see if I can.
That is the hard part about streaming, though. Like sometimes you just want to like play your game.
Yeah.
I don't mind streaming it. It was like the other day.
Yeah.
I think it was like I'd fully prepared to sit down and stream. I got, everything set up, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, the washing machine's on.
I think what Scarlett is saying though is I always told my wife, she's like, "You've been playing video games. Let's watch a show." I'm like, streaming a game and playing a game is different. You're talking to the audience. People are talking to you. You like when I play a game, I do random nonsense or take a long time to get back to the missions. But if somebody's watching me play, I don't want them to be like, "What is this guy doing?" And you're trying to interact. It's two totally different things.
Nobody can ever watch me play Skyrim, like ever. I will literally chase a rabbit all over the map.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
But my washing machine is like in that room right behind me. There's no door, so if I've got the washing machine on and everybody hears it, it's like not available to stream. So yeah, it's not through not wanting to stream. It's just not had the chance. But I mean, I started playing that new Crash Bandicoot game that came out on Android the other day. I mean, it's pretty much just like I don't know if you've ever played like Mario Run or Sonic Runners or something like that. It's kind of
I
in the
own
same
Mario
vein as
Run.
that.
I will admit this freely.
And I just seen Gem pipe up in the, in the chat. I knew he'd be lurking as soon as I mentioned Crash. But I think I defeated the first boss. I only started playing it this morning actually. So and then I've also been trying to get, and I managed to succeed in getting in Pokemon Go. There's a Pokemon called Cast Form, which.
Oh, did you get like the snow type or something?
No, it's the rain type came out. Well, the shiny version of the rain type came out yesterday, and the reason this is significant, I can't even say it. The reason this is significant is because Cast Form has two forms. So obviously, sunny, normal, rain, and snowy. And only the normal form has a shiny form.
Isn't that more than two?
Any game.
It's four.
Did I say
4
two?
forms.
You said 2.
It's 2 forms, and then lizard form.
4 forms.
The cast form has 12 forms, big and little.
I think I was distracted by Anthony keep popping in and out, but yeah, basically, so in any Pokemon game ever, only the normal form has been available. You can't get a shiny form of any of the others until now. This is the first time you can get the rainy shiny form, and I was like, the problem is you can only get it when it's raining in real life. So you do get a couple of encounters for completing some quests, so it doesn't have to be raining. And of course, like we live in Britain, so it's raining all the time, right? But the past few days it's been quite sunny, so how was I ever to get
darn.
I know, damn it. But then I managed to get the shiny, so I'm happy. And
there you go.
I'm a little bit miffed because I had all of the forms in Pokemon Go, and then when I stopped playing Pokemon Go, I wanted to switch everything into Home so that I could put everything from Home into Sword and Shield. But when you put Pokemon into Home, it actually reduces them to their base version. So I lost all of my cast forms. No,
you get just.
I can trade you some if you like.
You can't do long distance trading yet, can you?
You can in Pokemon Home, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. But if it's in Pokemon Home, then it may not work still. It may still just be. I don't know.
I've got all the ones in Pokemon Home, so I pretty much have a living dex in Pokemon Home. So
yeah, that's what I wanted it to be. But they're like, in order to have more than like 30, you have to pay. And I'm like, I'm not paying you for
I think
moving my Pokemon.
In order to transfer them from Pokemon Go to Pokemon Home, you can only do so many at a time, and then
it's annoying. Then you have to like get them out and put more in.
Welcome to Pokemon Go.
When does this become
Welcome
Pokemon
back
Source?
to PokeSource, your number one source for Pokemon news and reviews. So, anyways, as I
What have you been
rudely
playing?
cut off Dan and Scarlett, I I have not been playing anything, and the reason is I've not been in town to play anything. My wife surprised me. It was basically for my birthday, said, get in the car. And had took us out of town for the weekend. For those of you on the stateside, if you're familiar with Dollywood, Dolly Parton's theme park, we didn't go to it, but we went to the mountain towns that surround it called Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, and Sevierville. And it is just like tattoo parlors and funnel cake shops and go-karts and t-shirt stores and every amount of deep fried butter lard food you can have. I had chicken and dumplings.
Like a Stadia symbol here now.
Oh yeah, it's just from the grease. I had chicken and dumplings from 3 different restaurants because that's my favorite food ever. I had so much butter fried food this weekend that my arteries you could take my arteries out and they would be Groot. It would just look like Groot, just with all the branches, just solid brown.
Avery.
So that's what I did with my weekend. So I didn't play anything other than keep yourself entertained and awake on the interstate because it was an 8-hour drive. But big thanks to my my lovely wife. And today we played Home Inspection. And thankfully we have a nice dry basement and a fantastic roof. So
and no termites. And no termites.
And no termites.
Yes,
no termites.
That's the thing.
A little bit of wood rot on the deck. But
Any asbestos.
No asbestos. Yeah.
Can I ask Dan a quick question about Dragon Quest?
No, it's not time for that.
But he was talking about that's what he played. Hey,
is that on the cards for later or?
Go
ahead.
Simple. They said you could switch back and forth. Can you do that during the game? Do you know with the different views? Can you do that?
I mean, I haven't actually played it yet, but I'm pretty sure you can.
Okay.
So that was useful, Dan. I was listening. Bill and Lloyd actually talked about it this weekend on Stadia Cast.
Okay.
If you change from 2D to 3D, it sets you back to the beginning of the chapter. So if you're gonna switch, do it as soon as you move to your next chapter, or you'll end up having to play the whole chapter over again.
That makes sense because there's some pretty big differences between the 2D and the 3D in terms of like how you actually move through the world.
Right.
So there you go. Real quick, because I normally have more time to do this if it wasn't for Sports today. We'll say hi to some folks in the chat. We'll say yo to Ray the Gaming Cyborg. Good to have you. And a big yo from F10do, one of our fantastic streamers on the Stream Team Dream Team. Kumna says evening. Inley says hi, folks. KW Media, one of our news writers there. Eli, taking a break from a writing and exam project. Eli, I hope you do well on your exam. I really do. Antonio with the ha-has. And I don't know what it is that you're laughing at, but I'm sure whatever it was probably
Joe's story.
Hilarious. Oh, there you go. Okay, fantastic. Charles saying, hey, we got Leo, we got the gaming CPA in there saying, haha, indeed. Link TV, and a whole bunch of other folks, Jem and Ruben and so forth included. So good to have all of y'all in the chat tonight, and we'll say hi to even more folks as we go throughout the night. But we need to talk about some of the news this week, because just all of a sudden, Stadia just decided this was a week they wanted to just drop a bunch of stuff. The week that I was out of town, and I'm in a hotel room, we're getting ready to go out to dinner, and I'm like, what just happened? The number one of those being Resident Evil is on deck. Resident Evil. There you go. Not only is Resident Evil Village on deck with a pretty kick-butt deal, but Resident Evil 7 is coming to Pro. Let's throw up that trailer. So without sound, because it's going to blow my eardrums, and it's scary, and I don't like scary things. So we are getting Resident Evil Village with Lady Dimitrescu, the very,
okay,
very
so
tall.
she's supposed to be like stupid tall because what's with all these
like
memes?
over 9 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, she's inhumanly tall. No download, no install, and not only that, with crazy good graphics. But if you pre-order it on Stadia, and I just realized again I'm covering Anthony, not a big loss. Then every week, if you pre-order it right now, you will get a free Stadia Premier Edition, $69 value because it's on sale at the moment, or at least it was, $99 normally. So you get the white controller, you get a Chromecast Ultra, you get Resident Evil, That's a pretty good deal, considering that Resident Evil itself is what, $59.99 probably.
Right.
So you're basically paying $60, getting $160 worth of deal there. Like, that's kind of insane. Has anybody taken advantage of this deal? Oh, we got several folks who are getting themselves another Premier Edition.
Are you guys going to do the dumb thing where you claim 6 of them again?
No.
No, this is not that. You have to
No,
buy the games.
Yeah, that's
So
like
you have to
YouTube
buy 6 of them.
Premium. Because I still have 2 Premier Editions just sitting in my
Like,
cupboard. Still
Can
in
you
the
just
packaging.
send me one then, Dom? Like, obviously
That was
you're
my
not
last
using
one.
it.
We could we could exchange it for some.
I will pay shipping.
I've still not opened these yet. So.
Oh, no, mine is
Custom
still in the
Daylight
cardboard.
merch.
Mine is still in the cardboard boxes that they got sent in. Like they're just sitting in there.
Now, to be fair, this came at a weird time. That morning before the announcement, my wife just started game streaming, so give credit, shout outs to her, Sandy Beaches. But she started game streaming, and I said, well, now you're getting more into Stadia. Maybe I should get another Chromecast Ultra, and I already got 2 controllers, right? So I said that, and then later on they made an announcement. Now my issue is I'm a multiplayer guy. So I was like, well, and I played every Resident Evil, right? So, but I'm like, and I usually game fly them and then beat them and send them back. So I'm like, well, if I get Resident Evil, I'll beat it, send it back. So I know you could get the Chromecast Ultra and the Premier Edition, blah, blah, blah. And I was just talking about it, right? But then somebody from Stadia Source, who was it, Lee or somebody said, they got a multiplayer. And I was like, oh, well, there you go. And then I bought it. So that way I'll have that extra Chromecast Ultra. I'll have another controller, and I'll have Resident Evil, which I would have definitely gameflied. But now, since the multiplayer, I figure like, all right, so the multiplayer is what got me to push the button.
So the multiplayer, I think it actually went unnoticed. And it wasn't until I think it was Fi on our Discord reached out to me and said, actually, if you look at the text in the store entry, it actually comes with the Resident Evil Reverse, which is like a multiplayer PvP type game. I don't know whether it will come out at the same time as Resident Evil Village or whether it will be a standalone if you don't want to get Village.
I think it says in there that it'll be able to be purchased separately later on. I think in the text, if I remember correctly,
they use the words "may," but that practically means you.
I mean, if I'm honest, like this Resident Evil Verse has had a beta already in January. It's got another beta coming up next month. Hasn't been fantastically received.
No.
So it seems to be like a PvP kind of game where you battle people against monsters, and you can kind of pick different, and then you kind of see who. It's kind of like a.
Why is he getting up again?
So this is the trailer for Resident Evil 7 Biohazard,
right. Scarlett,
which is coming free. Yeah, it's a lot. Scarlett's just like, I did the same thing. He came out of the door and I jumped. Like, don't open doors. Don't open. Yeah, I can't. I don't even have the audio on.
Oh, gross. Oh, nasty.
Oh, no. Okay, we're done with that. We're done. Oh, bees. We're
done.
We need to get something in the chat. If we get so many people in the chat comment a certain thing, Avery will play this game on stream.
Okay, so like the most I can do is
$150 in super chats. I'll play it on stream.
Y'all, what the heck? I'll come hang out with you, Avery, and make like happy jokes so you don't die.
Pulling her arm off. Why is it still going?
You're still watching. I can see it at the bottom of the screen grayed out.
Oh no!
You know what's really cool. Some people might say, "Oh, Resident Evil 7 is old, right? Oh, so what?" But for me, right, since I'm a Resident Evil fan, I played it when it first came out, and my problem with Resident Evil 7, I felt like it don't connect that well to the old ones, right? But then they came out with DLC, and somebody was like, "Oh, you could use Chris," and I was like, "Well, I already returned the game, but now that it's coming to Stadia, I can finally play that DLC because it's the Ultimate Edition with everything."
I mean, to be fair, I think Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 remake is all I ever needed out of Resident Evil. I just need them to come to Stadia now because, like, the thing is, I enjoyed Resident Evil 5. 4 was all right, but I kind of the fact that they got rid of the whole zombies thing and like I know it's one of those things. If we were at Resident Evil 8 now, aren't we? So if it was Resident Evil 8 with zombies and tyrants and stuff like that, it's been done to death, but I still think that's what Resident Evil is all about.
So Guys, I'm a big Resident Evil fan, so I hear Dan a little bit. I know what you're saying. So when Part 4 came out, it was the Lost Plagueis virus.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even the T virus or the G virus. So literally, it was pretty much not the same game you knew and loved. Now, the funny thing is, a lot of people loved Resident Evil 4 because they changed the gameplay. It was more action based. But for me, I'm like you. I'm a 1, 2, 3. Like that's true Resident Evil for me. And then even the new Resident Evil 7 and 8. It's in first person. I feel like, yes, for me, it could have just been a horror game because it doesn't feel like my Resident Evil that made Resident Evil. If Dan, that might make sense to you.
And you can put, like, for example, Chris was in number 5 and Jill Valentine came back in it. And I think they did have like a kind of side DLC where you went back to the Spencer Mansion for a little bit. But I don't know, it seems like they're still clinging on to those past characters which made them great in the first place, but also trying to move on as well. And
but in Resident Evil 7, here's my issue with Resident Evil 7. They threw out, like, you didn't have none of those characters besides the DLC. It was I'm not spoiling it. I'm not gonna say anything, but it just wasn't linked that much to the original, to what you and I love. But
Joe, is Resident Evil at all on your radar? You said PlayStation 2 guy, so maybe.
No, like the only time I was ever playing Resident Evil was at the arcade, just because like I couldn't afford the little gun that you could shoot at the TV. So
yeah, it is. I've said it before and I will say it again. I am not a scary game person at all. I watched my friend play Resident Evil 1, but then literally just when he walks up the stairs and the screen goes dark and I'm like, oh, he's gonna open the door. Something's gonna happen. I can't. That's me. These games, I can't do it. I don't know what Link is trying to get accomplished in the chat, but it's just not.
It's coming, Avery. You gave him an option, and he's gonna follow suit.
No,
I'm there with you though, Avery. Like literally, it took hanging out with Dom to even get comfortable with the idea of claiming Dead by Daylight, which was a lot for me. So I haven't claimed, and I have something called blood points or something like that. But that's literally all I've ever done with the game because I refuse to go in there by myself. But when I first started gaming, actually playing games, more than just occasionally, I tried out BioShock, and this there's that pod that you have to get into that takes you underwater. I circled that sucker for 10 minutes. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it because I know if I get in there, bad crap is happening. And it did. And so that was the end of that game for me. And that's not even the worst.
See, Avery, you need to look at it like a roller coaster. You're a fan of roller coasters. Huge.
Roller coasters don't eat me.
Yeah, but that's the adrenaline rush you get when you go up to the top and go over. Because me, I jump at everything. My wife will watch a movie and I'll jump. She's like, "Why are you jumping, man?" And I make her jump from jumping.
It's just Sandra Bullock proclaiming her love. Why are you jumping?
See, nothing really.
Oh dear heavens!
Me, what the?
Link.
What the heck, man?
No.
He's gonna be after
oh my God,
the show.
no.
I get a refund on that.
Okay, to be fair, I didn't say I was playing. I said I would be there in chat to say happy things so that you wouldn't die of being scared.
I think we need to do a OBS Ninja thing with both of your face cams, so at least it watches.
Wow. Listen,
I'm just stunned. Link. Honest to God, man.
This is my reaction to literally everything Link does. I don't think people understand who Link is and what he does, but this is the kind of stuff he pulls all the time, and he deserves all the love in the world.
Okay,
but seriously,
Link,
right now,
Avery,
what the heck? No, those of you who are listening, of you who are listening to this in an audio medium, I was thoroughly joking when I said $150 in super chats and I'll play Resident Evil. And then there's Link TV with the I expect to be informed with this goes live $150 super chat. Insanity. Well,
this is
Resident Evil 7
is going to be the most viewed video
we're claiming
ever.
it now. This is
Comes
me.
out
This
on
is
Pro.
me claiming it when it comes on Pro.
On heavens to Betsy. All right, next weekend, it comes out on Thursday. I've got another stream planned for Friday, but that would be a terrible stream game to play during Friday Night Live.
Yeah,
No, I can't do that.
no.
Not
I don't
gonna do that.
care. I
No.
don't care when you're streaming it. I'm watching. I
Yeah,
will
Okay.
it's
be
gonna
there.
be Saturday the 3rd. Saturday the 3rd. Link, I don't know if I like you or hate you right now, but thank you for your massive support of Stadia
wait,
Source.
can it not be the 3rd? We'll talk. I have
We'll talk.
days that work better.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have to
I'll
plan
hold them
my
to it, Link, don't
horror
worry.
around.
Dan, come play with us. Don, you
Oh,
too.
Scary
No, no,
games
no,
do
no,
not
no,
have
no,
Y'all
no.
it.
just
I,
get to be
is-
on.
No.
Y'all just
I
get to be
completely-
on screen watching me freak out. Like
I
that's
completed
what's
Resident
gonna be
Evil
fun.
Resident Evil 1 on the PlayStation 1 when I was like 10 years old or something. So scary games do not get to me. Like, I'm all
No.
for it.
Okay, we've got to move
Actually-
on. We've got to move on because there is so much other news. We're literally
Yeah.
only on the first bullet of my list. So let's move on.
Hi, Joe. Welcome to
Uh,
Stadia Source.
Welcome to Stadia Source, your number one source for one piece of Stadia news and reviews, and then a lot of Pokemon.
I'm sorry.
Couple of
that's
new
the
games.
dog barking in the background. We got a puppy. So
Oh,
That's all
that's
right.
okay.
Are you saying that's the Barksdale? It's Barksdale. Sorry, I can't. All your life, I'm sure, all your life, and I had to do it. I
no, people. I mean, I don't know. Like when I hear a good one, I laugh at it. But people have been trying.
Oh, I love it. It's like when I hear a good one, I'll
I'll
laugh
laugh.
at some
Hey,
point.
Don
Not
there,
tonight.
Face Planet.
In any
Oh,
case,
man.
I'm going to go to our YouTube channel because Scarlett's probably posted these trailers. Couple of new games have come out on Stadia, including
Some trailers
Dirt.
have been posted.
Some trailers. We don't have that one. It's fine.
Do we need the
Dirt
trailers?
5.
People know the games, don't they?
Yeah, Dirt 5 and Murder by Numbers. Dirt 5 came out yesterday? Day before yesterday? Something like that?
Dirt 5 was yesterday.
Dirt 5 was yesterday.
It was Tuesday, no?
this week. Yeah.
It's Tuesday. So again, we'll just cover up Anthony's face right there. Lovely. So yeah, Dirt 5 is very much about dirt. It is off-roading, rally car, all that good stuff.
Vroom, vroom.
Anybody pick this one up?
No.
No, I will when it's on sale because this looks like my kind of game. Like I'm big into racing games and I like rally games. So
See, I'm going to go there in terms of the whole like debate that's
Going
been
to
going on
Morocco?
Twitter. No,
No.
not this time. £5,000 fine or something if I go abroad, so can't right now. Yeah, this is one of those games that I think, like, I know there's been a big debate on Twitter. Dom touched on it earlier about the pricing of this, and I think purely because we got it about 5 months late than all the other consoles. Like, I'm sure there was a good reason why, but I think FIFA and Madden kind of set a precedent for when a game comes out on Stadia that's been out on other consoles for a while. Like, there sort of needs to be a discount, even if it's just a couple of quid or dollars or whatever, just to kind of say, like, you know what I mean, we know you've probably got this on PlayStation or Xbox because, you know what I mean, it's been out on this for 5 months already, but here's a reason to get it on Stadia as well. Or here's a slight compensation for the fact that you've had to wait 5 months. You know what I mean? If you were really wanting to get this game but didn't want to get it on PlayStation or Xbox, you wanted to wait for the Stadia version. So this is probably going to be one of those games, again, like Dom says. I'm not really big into racing games, but I do like the Dirt series, so I probably will wait for a sale as well.
the thing, like these kind of racing games, right? They are incredible as a pro game because, like, as we've seen with F1, the amount of play-alongs and stuff and people jumping in streams that people have done with it, because it's just easy. People jump in and there's a laugh racing around. Whether it become a pro game in the end, I don't know. Like, it took 6 months for F1 to become a pro game.
Do you know if it's a arcade style racer, or do you know if it's a more like F1? Because those,
it's difficult because it's a rally game, right? So I'd say it's more like Grid, because like it's rally, so it's less like F1's very precise and all
it's a simulation, yeah.
Yeah, but it's also just to do with how the style of racing that F1 is.
Yeah.
I'd say it's cool.
No, I
I'd say it's more
asked Dan. I didn't do the research, but I asked Dan. Quick question. I don't need to get it to go crazy, but the games that came to Stadia late, and then they was discounted. I'm curious if they was discounted everywhere else when they finally came to Stadia.
Okay, I have a thought about that. Sorry, I know you're asking Dan, but I actually have a thought that follows Dan's thing.
Go on.
Sorry, Dan.
That's all right.
What would be really interesting is because of it being late, Dan was saying that like if it had like at least a few dollars discount, like, hey, you know, we're sorry that it came, you know, 5 months later, whatever. What would be nice is if it was discounted to whatever was the lowest price at any point in those 5 months. So if the game was discounted, because people may have been waiting for it to come to Stadia because they didn't want to get it on other consoles or they don't have other consoles. So if it was discounted, kind of like how Amazon will, if you pre-order something and at any point it gets discounted, you actually get whatever's the lowest price before it actually is released. So that would make a lot of sense if that became a new strategy. Like, hey, we'll drop the price to whatever was the lowest price as a discount, and then that's there for like 2 weeks, and that's it. And then you have to wait for another discount.
I think that would be smart. Yeah,
I do think that we should not expect there to be a sale. So if there isn't one, you shouldn't get disappointed about it. We should never expect something to be, you know what I mean, cheaper, or it's just one of those things. If you go in there with high expectations and they're not met, then you obviously get disappointed. But I still think the price should have at least had a few quid knocked off.
Right.
Just quickly, so remember, this is Codemaster setting the price. This isn't Stadia setting.
Yeah, obviously.
And
I think some people forget that.
Stadia's fault,
And my only thing is, you said the other games being cheaper coming late set a precedence, but I feel like it doesn't really though, because if the company's saying, hey, we're lowering the price, then you really can't look at unless it's the same exact company, like FIFA is definitely different. If the same exact company lowered the price, then you could be like, man, they lowered the price when they put that game on Stadia. But if it's a completely different game, but again, my thing is, if it was cheap, like, is Dirt cheaper? Like, I know Dirt isn't, but the other games, FIFA and Madden, like at that point when they came out, were they cheaper on other systems? Because if it's like $25 on PlayStation and Xbox, and then it's $59.99 on Stadia, then it's like, whoa. But if it was cheaper and then it came cheaper because it was so late, then that makes sense. That's what I'm curious of.
In any case, awesome game, and hopefully everybody will play it. I gotta move us on because we are running out of time to get through the other one that came out in Murder by Numbers. I don't know if anybody cares about this one. I don't even know that I know what it is.
I watched John Scar play this.
I love Picross.
I watched John Scar play this, and John Scar, lovely guy. He's been on our podcast the other week, and but I could have probably murdered myself watching it because it just doesn't look like my kind of game. But obviously, his stream, fantastic. Game, not so much.
Yeah, I didn't realize that that's what this game was. I love Picross games, so I'm gonna have to get this one now. I have like a bunch on my cell phone. Like if I'm waiting in line or something, I'll just do Picross on my cell phone. So I will totally. Joe, either of these games even remotely interesting to you? Are you a dirt rally racing kind of game person or a Picross person?
Dirt rally racing is probably definitely more toward what I would lean to playing. It's more exciting. There's a lot more going on, And I mean, I don't know, it's bad because I'm terrible at racing games, but I always end up playing a bunch of racing games. It's the same with fighting games. I just do everything that I'm bad at,
That's the way. That's fine. That's the way to go. So other news, we literally just got news like right before the stream today. They had a post. They've been posting quite frequently this week that we are also getting a bunch of JRPGs coming to the site. Or coming to the site, coming to Stadia, including. Did we do a post about it? Yes, we did. Okay, I'm trying to pull up our own post, including at least one that I have played before. The Yeez series. Yes. IUU. Nobody ever pronounces it. Including Monstrum Nox, which is the newest game in the series, and then the one before this, Lacrimosa of Dana. I actually played Lacrimosa of Dana on Switch. I downloaded it there, and of course, I played the very first Yeez on the regular Nintendo on the NES, like back in the day. So where you're just like stabbed with your little sword, like. Dap, dap,
apparently it's ease according to Link.
Oh, thank you, Link. And you're the expert. I mean, I'll call it whatever you want, brother. You're paying tonight. So yes, you play the red-haired protagonist here of all the games, and apparently he gets turned into a something, and now he's fighting the things, and it's the monsters and the slices and the hay. whatever. So that one's coming out later this summer. Adol, that's his name, and then Lacrimosa I played on Switch, and then we're also getting Trails, which to me it's Trails, not Trials. Which
did I spell it wrong?
You did, but in the way that it should be spelled. I don't understand why it's spelled wrong. I mean, it's not my game. But those two are coming out in April. The content of Zemuria is brought into. I'm just trying to skip through.
April 1st is a big day.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of games on April 1st.
We're getting a lot of games.
Joke, we're getting none.
April.
It's an April
Lot of
Fool's
news.
joke.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like
Stadia's
Stadia's gone.
Yeah, I
almost-
take April 1st with a large grain of salt, especially when it comes from anybody.
You know, so last year, of course, they canceled. There's usually Google usually does an April Fool's joke, like they'll turn Google Maps into Pac-Man or something, and so they usually do an April Fool's joke. But of course, they canceled them all last year. So it'll be interesting to see if they do them again this year. And it will be even further interesting to find out what Stadia could possibly do as an April Fool's joke that would not absolutely infuriate everyone. Oh, surprise! We released Tetris. And everybody were like, yeah, we like Tetris. Like, give me Tetris or something. So, but yeah, April 9th, April 1st with pay. So it's not going to be free because otherwise they probably wouldn't give us a price on
Somebody
that.
did ask if they were going to Pro, but I was like, judging by the fact that it has the price there and they've not said it was coming to Pro, I don't think it will.
Look
but-
at this. I didn't even notice we had that. Games
Yeah.
mentioned in this article.
Click on them. Click on one.
Dan, things Dan hasn't told us about that he added to the website today. I gotta write that down. Look at you, Mr. Dan. Boom. So yeah, lots of stuff in there coming up. Sorry, I'm reading things in our chat and as well as the other chat. It's no joke, Dan. It's no joke. So yeah, lots of news. I love JRPGs. I'm sure Miles, one of our reviewers who is also a big JRPG fan, was absolutely thrilled by this announcement. So big fan there. Anybody care about any of these things before I just jam through these other headlines?
Ready,
We
go.
gotta actually push some of them to next week. Okay, so DLC, Hitman 3, 7 Deadly Sins coming on March 30th. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Wrath of the Druids coming in April 29th. Watch Dogs Legion, we got Bloodline, a DLC coming in late June, and big summer roadmap. And then, of course, Black Panther, announced as the newest Marvel Avengers character. So, you know, Wakanda Forever, gonna be super fun. And then we had some ratings and announcements. Zorro, The Chronicles, which does not look that interesting to me. And then The Last Kids on Earth and the Staff of Dune, which is based on a Netflix cartoon.
It's actually really cute. We should watch it.
I have heard good things about it. I actually have heard good things about it. Does anyone on the panel want to weigh in on any of the things I just said?
Yay.
Joe, do you care about any of those games? Hey, you said you were going to play Valhalla, so...
What?
I'm excited
Sorry,
about the 7 Deadly Sins game.
The Hitman.
Oh, yeah.
Have you
Good
given
show
it
as well.
Hitman 3? Have you played Hitman 3?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, now when you do, there will be extra DLC free to play.
Nice.
So very cool. All right. Well, you can check out these and all of the headlines at StadiaSource.com. Your number one source for Stadia news and reviews. Number one source, guys. I know that because at least as of this week, 3.5 million of you have visited the website. So we added 500,000 in like 5 weeks or 4 weeks. It's insane. So good stuff there. That said, if you build it, a show notes doc that is, they will come to the hot topic that is.
Indeed.
Get it?
Oh,
Dom?
man.
Bad.
Don's a little confused over there.
There it is.
It's a sports reference.
No, it's
Joe, I know you got that one. You know, if you build it, they will come, right? Field of Dreams. No, I
Okay.
get wrong sport.
Something you should know about me. I guess this probably would have been something super interesting to say. I am actually so my deal was engineering. When it comes to like nerd culture and that kind of stuff, that's my bag. The sports thing, I never watched sports. I never watched it before I started playing. I don't watch them now. Sports for me were just a way to get out the city. And then it became a way to, get a free college education. And then it became a way to make some money. But, and I know that shocks people every time I say it. People think I'm lying. I know nothing. I've met Hall of Famers. They're like, oh, so who are you? Like,
Done that before.
Those are real nice Super Bowl rings you have, Mr.
Tom Brady? I don't ring a bell. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're
Like
the
the
guy
Brady
with
Bunch.
the thing and the you with the
Brady
thing and you
Bunch.
throw that and then you catch the thing and yeah, that's you. Okay.
Like I've done interviews with teams at the combine, and they've had like, all-time greats in the room. You know who this is? Nope. Like,
should I? No.
Yeah, this will help me be a better player. Sorry, that's a whole other topic.
Oh my gosh. I'm sure you will have input here regardless because you've been on both sides of this fence. The hot topic for tonight, what I thought I would we've seen I'm having to phrase things well in my head because I love all of our viewers and I love all of the folks that follow us on Twitter and me. And so we have I think it is safe to say that there are a lot of very strong feelings in the community on all kinds of subjects, particularly when it comes to platform adherence or fandom. And so what I wanted to talk about tonight, just as we're kind of getting into the second quarter of the year, and we've seen a lot of we have a lot of friends across the Stadia universe that are branching out into other platforms. So some of them like Ray's doing Luna streams or Eddie's doing GeForce Now or whoever else. So a lot of our good friends are beginning to branch out past Stadia, and the reactions to that have been mixed in the community. A lot of folks, Stadia ride or die. Like it's Stadia 100%, no room for nothing else. And if you leave Stadia, that's it. Some folks are like, you know what? Game. Let's just play the game. Let's have fun. But what we're seeing is that fandom and that circling the wagons sometimes has a really positive element. The family that we've all built here sometimes has a pretty negative element. A little bit of toxicity happening. A lot of folks leveraging that mute button and that block button on Twitter in the past couple of weeks. So what I wanted to do is just give us an opportunity to kind of voice our opinions and our thoughts. I try to make the hot topic more like a question, whereas versus just like, let's let all six of us just say what we feel about a thing. But tonight, I kind of wanted to give us an opportunity just to kind of get our thoughts out there as to the state of the community, and particularly the fandom and the toxicity that whether it's the positive side or the negative side that we're seeing crop up. And Joe, I thought this would be kind of a good opportunity for you because you've been a part of, obviously you're a part of the music scene now. You've been a part of the tech scene. You've been a part of professional sports, which is all about team and fandom. And
there are no more toxic fans than professional sports fans. I low-key hate professional sports fans.
There you go.
Without getting too deep into it, like I tried to kill myself in 2016, and fans were talking shit about how I was bad at doing it. Like, I hate sports fans. And I mean, I don't know. I understand the emotional connection that certain people have to whatever they're uber fans of. I just think that things get toxic when people can't separate themselves from whatever they're a fan of. Like if I'm a fan of cheeseburgers and you're like, I like my cheeseburgers with mustard, versus ketchup or whatever. And it's like, well, no, we can only do cheeseburgers the way I like to do them. And if you're trying to do them a different way, I don't like it. And it's a control thing. I really think at the end of the day, the toxicity comes down to just people wanting to be in control of something. And it's easy to piss people off. So.
Yeah. Do you see parallels between like the kind of diehard sports, my team or else thing with what you kind of also see in gaming where it's like, no, it's Xbox or nothing. It's PlayStation or nothing. It's Stadia or nothing. Like, what are the parallels that you see there?
The same. They're both of those are the same red flag. If someone is like, it's iPhone or nothing, or it's Xbox or nothing, or whatever or nothing, we can't be friends. Like, because I'm not going to make a bunch of friends with such narrow-minded people, I mean, whatever or nothing quickly turns into, if you're not with us, you're against us. And then that goes into a whole nother. So if you're that pressed about, supporting an organization, a corporation that doesn't even know who the hell you are, we are not going to be friends. And you probably would annoy the hell out of me anyway.
That's a good perspective to have on that. Scarlett, we were chatting about this on Slack earlier today, and I know that you had a few thoughts on this subject.
Yeah, I have since toned back my response. What I tend to do is when I have very heated things to say, I'll write it down and then I'll rip it up and throw it away because at least it gets it out of my system.
That's a good
but
idea.
it's driving me nuts because I have not been to the extreme that Joe, and thank you for your honesty. That was phenomenal. Thank you.
Oh,
Like, I haven't been to that extreme where I've had people straight up come to me and be like, "You suck because you did something like this," and but I've seen other people doing this. Like, it happened with our, everybody's favorite Stadia PR person, Grace. Love her. She's fantastic. She's probably one of the, she's always been nothing but nice anytime I've ever communicated with her, which is very few times, but she's always been super nice. And yet people seem to find that it's okay to rip into somebody that literally has nothing to do with anything that's going on. And it doesn't make any sense because it can lead people into, going as far as trying to take their life, because when you say very personal things to somebody, they take it personally. And there's no reason to turn to somebody and say, I'm an Xbox player and you're a PlayStation player, therefore you're the stupidest person in the planet and you need to, go do something that nobody should ever do. People give me grief because I only follow 100 people on Twitter. And I'm only friends with people on Facebook that I actually know in real life. So family members and a couple of friends from high school. And I don't just follow anybody because they've got Stadia in their name. Even when I started out as Scarlet_Stadia before I became Scarlet Stream, I didn't just follow somebody because they were on Stadia. Sure, I'll add you to my friends list on Stadia. And now that there's the whole chat thing, people are like, hey, let's talk. It's like, no, I'm not here to talk to you. I'm here to play games. And so I don't follow people. So I actually don't see a whole lot of this stupidity that's going on, especially around Stadia. But it's funny when you guys come into Slack. So-and-so said this again today. I'm like, why do you even follow this person?
I agree.
Yeah. So I, as I've said multiple times, I curate what I consume because I don't need that dumb toxic, which is the popular word, that dumb toxic, any of that in my life, because I know what makes me happy and I want to stick with that. And that is, I love playing games and I love being with my family, and nothing is going to change that. I don't care where I play, who I'm playing with, I will be happy because it is what I want to be doing. And y'all can keep your toxic crap in your little corner of the world where you, and actually Joe tapped right on that too. He said people are trying to find a modicum of control that they had, that if they can control this anonymity that they have and just kind of put random crap out there because repercussions, but there are repercussions because what you say will internally affect somebody for years to come. Even if you throw it out there as nobody's gonna be hurt by this, they are. And I know that for a fact. So y'all need to just be nicer. Be happy. Don't be angry. Just be happy.
I really couldn't even say that better myself. Anthony, you are a person who will play just about anything. I know you play on different platforms, and of course you've got the Stadia Bass Community Network, which itself is focused on Stadia.
Yes,
but
sir.
I see all those folks playing stuff everywhere else too, because you can really love Stadia, but also really love other things, right?
Yes, sir. So time to take the gloves off, man. Listen, we're gonna get into this toxicity conversation real quick.
Oh, I'm taking this. Okay.
All right.
It just got real.
Here's the thing, all right? No, here's the thing. A lot of times I'm reading the Slack and I'm like Scarlett. I'm like, I said it today. I was like, I don't even know how this stuff flies over my head because where does these conversations pop up? How do I miss it? And some of the people who are talking, I'm like, oh, I think I'm friends with them, or follow them, but I don't know. But anyways, that's a good thing. But like I told a story earlier in the Slack. Listen, once upon a time, I called myself the Black Jerry Springer of the internet. I love drama. I love to start the fights and everything, but that's small-minded, to be honest, man. And I feel like what I love is like Stadia Vet doing a PlayStation Now thing. That shows that, yes, he's on a thing that's, I like to say 100% Stadia committed, right? but that's just because that's for the people who play Stadia. So if you got a place where you want to play Stadia, cool. But Vet is literally one of the founders of the Stadia Bash Community Network. He brought the network to the thing, and he streams. We have a group of streamers, right? About 40 now, right? 40 people streaming Monday through Friday, right? And Vet streaming almost every time somebody else is streaming. Does that mean he don't care about the Stadia streamers? No, he got a life outside of Stadia. Like, people have to listen, I said it earlier on Twitter. Listen, the games you love, play them on the platform you like. And other than that, period, right? So it's a shame, but listen, man, I've been in gaming for a long time. This just goes with the territory. I don't know if you started gaming yesterday, but the video game community, they might have the sports community beat a little bit. You think Eagle fans burn things down? Get into a heated debate with a PlayStation. Forget Stadia. We always think like everybody hates Stadia. Get into a heated debate with a PlayStation guy and an Xbox guy. It's getting real. And the toxicity to go into what Scarlett said is just kind of silly. I mean, I love the little, like you guys seen, I did the thing with Duncan, right? And I like to say it was a pretty good interview. I just want to call him out on some stuff I felt was kind of BS, but he explained stuff pretty good, but we didn't want to fight, right? It was just, so I feel like Scarlett said it best. We need to take it back a little bit, At the end of the day, me and Avery kind of agreed a while ago. We both said the same thing. If Stadia ends tomorrow, I guess I might buy a place. I don't know, but I'm gonna play video games, right? So at the end of the day, it's just video games. So let's just game. One last thing, I said it. I do think, and you guys are hard because you're in an editorial position, so you need to know news. So I'm not in there. I'm a gamer. I just play the games. I don't need I need the quickest story to write article, right? To beat somebody out first. But I think there's a lot of people who spend more time wondering what Stadia's next move than playing the games. And I get it, if you're in a position of writing things, then you have to be. But there's some people who aren't, and they just want to, well, Stadia didn't say this, or this didn't say that. And it's like, dude, you're not even, like, can we just chill? So
the Marvel fans
gamers are, oh, sorry.
Oh, no, that's all I had to say. I was just saying the Marvel fans are getting bad too.
Yeah, Marvel
versus DC.
And
by the way, you got mad respect to Joe for that lightsaber collection from the Nerf Report.
Bring it out.
Good friends of the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit it.
Wait, why is it not working?
There you go.
That's wicked.
Nice.
That's cool.
Tech Lord of the Sith. There is his YouTube channel.
It's actually on our Twitter post. The Twitter image it says Sith Lord. Sorry.
I'm right there with you in both cases. Dom, Dan, let me let y'all get in there as well before I jump in with my diatribe, because I'm sure I'll have one. Probably not. Maybe I'll be easy this time. Dom plays on a lot of. You play a lot of cross game stuff. You play. You do GeForce Now stuff. You do just standard old Steam stuff. Kind of talk us through your thoughts on this.
I mean, like, as people have pointed out, right, toxicity exists across everything, whether it's talking about phones, Android, Apple, we're talking about cars, we're talking about sports. People always disagree. That's just life. And unfortunately, the internet gives precedence to people because they can hide behind either an anonymous thing or even just their username and just be like, and say whatever the hell they like. And they can say bad things. They can say things that really are uncalled for. I've seen toxicity in gaming throughout whatever I've played. It's just, unfortunately, it's one of those things I've just sort of accepted, because like I report it and stuff as much as I can, but it's there. Like, there's nothing I can personally do more. I can't go to someone's house and be like, hey, you were really toxic. They're really bad. Do you know what I mean? How much we see on Twitter and stuff, like the whole debate with Dirt, this was it this morning or yesterday? Again, it was kind of just like people just got really agitated over nothing, and it just turned a molehill into a mountain. Like it just wasn't worth
they hurt. That's all. Like you heard you're trying to take it out on someone else that you feel like isn't ever going to do anything back, because, like you said, the anonymity thing. Like from
they're projecting. That's all they're doing. It's just like it. There's a well-known Dead by Daylight streamer, True Talent, who it's something that I like. When I watched him, he spoke about it a lot, and he just says like these toxic people. He had people following him in games, just ruining his games because they could find his IP and they were tracking and joining every single game he was in and just ruin his experience. And he was just like, he spoke about it at length, and he said just they're just projecting their own issues and their own shortcomings. Like it's nothing more. It's just like we spoke about it before. It exists. Unfortunately, it's kind of one of those things until I don't know how we can get past it. And if you want to remove them, just that's what the mute and block button is for on Twitter, right? If you don't want to see someone's opinion, just don't unfollow them, mute them, block them, whatever.
Well, and that's part of it too, isn't it? It's attention seeking. Can I get likes? Can I get people interacting with my channel? Can I get people doing whatever? Because now I'm in control again. Like I'm seeking this attention.
Some of the most famous streamers on Twitch are known for their toxicity. Mm-hmm. So there is a League of Legends player called Tyler One who was banned from Twitch for being toxic. He wasn't banned from Twitch. He was banned from League of Legends. And then he basically somehow came back. He created new accounts, blah, blah, blah. And now he's like one of the most watched viewers because people enjoy him being toxic. Like,
controversy sells. You know?
Exactly.
That's why I start all these beefs.
That's something people want to talk about. Too many people are in toxic relationships with family members, and that's where that toxicity comes from. If you're not getting out of that relationship, you start to think that it's okay. I mean, shit, I had toxic family. That's why I don't talk to anybody in my family now. Like, I had toxic family members.
Feel that.
Even parents. Like, I talk to my little brother, my middle brother, and I talk to my aunt on my mom's side, and that's it. Like, I mean, I've had an aunt that stole like a lot of money from me, you know. So I think part of it is people just they don't want to get out of those toxic relationships because like we're family. And maybe this is the autism talking, but just I mean, what does that really mean that we're family? Like, okay, we got the same DNA. That doesn't mean you just you don't just get to keep screwing me over and it's cool because we're family or that kind of that's toxic.
Yeah. Well, and
we both play Stadia, so I could be toxic.
Yeah, I'm the only one that made it out of my county in my generation without a baby or a meth problem. So like out of all my cousins, all my so I totally get that. Like everybody's taking. I think some of you have said the word control on this, Joe in particular, and I've said this online before, and I actually I made some people mad. Dan actually fielded complaints about a tweet that I put out that basically said that a lot of the reason the people are behaving like this online and they have it is because they don't have control over some circumstance in their life. And the way that they feel they can reclaim some mechanism of control is to harm other people.
Well, and especially right now, like so much is out of people's control, like right now, especially like it's only just accumulated over these years. And
yeah. I've had fans run up on me in public. Like I was on a team that moved, and I wasn't in the meeting when they decided to move. You know, we're at Whole Foods trying to be healthy. Dude walks up, "What's up, bro? You guys, what the fuck? You're moving the team?" I'm like, "I just moved the team." Like, you know, if FedEx moves somewhere, you're not gonna run up on the dude delivering boxes. What the hell, Rico? Yeah, you know, like.
I just like, well, you know, Joe's the one that voted yes to Los Angeles, so you know,
we need to move today. Like, you know, I told him though, respectfully, back the fuck up before I beat you up. Like my partner wife is here, you running up on me talking about, you know, the stadium. We need to be talking about these hands I'm about to throw on you if you don't move. You know? Like,
and that's what you know. No, Dan. Speaking of, you know, obviously you've developed websites for a very long time. You're the first person to see when we get comments on StadiaSource.com, and we get comments on StadiaSource.com that we have to remove because people are not behaving themselves. And so I know you've had to deal with this online for quite some time.
Yeah, I had my first death threat the other week.
What?
Probably a few months ago, actually.
Wow.
There was hate speech and like homophobic slurs and all sorts of different things that were posted on the website, and I had to remove them. And in doing so, I got a death threat for it. And to be fair, it's just one of those things. Personally, I am able to just let it slide. I know it's not as easy for other people. Some people take it a lot more personally. To me, I found it hilarious. I just laughed it off.
That's kind of me.
And that's my persona. Is
where were they going to
humor.
find you?
I know, yeah. As far as I'm aware,
I recognize that shelving system behind you. That's clearly only sold in one Tesco. I
mean, I could probably, they could probably, if they really wanted to, find me. But I mean, they could probably look up the IP address of the website, blah blah blah, and yeah. But I mean, I'm never going to meet this person in real life, and even if they did meet me in real life, what are they going to do? I can't see them taking.
They ask you for a fucking picture. That's what they do. Like, how many people you see talking trash about athletes, and then they see them in public. Got a picture with LeBron? Like you were just talking bad about him yesterday. That's what they would do. They'd ask you for a photo. They tell you how much of a fan they are. All this.
But then, I mean, I also got asked for my autograph the other week as well. So it's like swings and roundabouts. I wouldn't even say I'm famous or anything like that. So just someone wants to sign.
Famous, right?
No,
whoa.
Who asked you for your autograph?
It was somebody bought a shirt, wasn't it?
Yeah, someone wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, did somebody actually ask you for your autograph? Wait, what?
Yeah. Guys, who was it that bought the shirt?
That's toxic. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I'm not going to say their name just in case they don't want to be identified. But yeah,
but they put it like out there in the public.
My wife
it's out there in the public, so you could find it if you really wanted to. But
listen, my wife is a very big fan of Dan. So Dan has people that are fans of him. She really likes Dan. She thinks he's really cool.
Dan is pretty great though. Like.
Someone puts $50 in the chat, Dan will drop an album. No, I'm just kidding.
Where's my wallet?
Put in.
Link again is saying we should project some positive toxic. Let's make, I don't know how positive toxicity works, but like let it spread positively. Do what you love and don't let anybody take that passion away from you.
Overly positive in all of the dumb ways that people have been negative.
It's considered toxic that you're that nice.
There you go.
I'm gonna love you to death.
It's the guy on TikTok that's like, oh, it's gorgeous. That guy. Angry reactions. Go look up angry reactions.
There's one thing that I was taught when I was little, and this is kind of like my mindset overall. And basically the motto is, if you haven't got something nice to say, then don't say it. And it's just one of those things. The thing is, when it comes to Twitter, like, obviously Twitter's a place where you dump your thoughts if you think about it, right? A lot of people just write mindless thoughts on Twitter, what they've had for lunch or whatever. And the problem is unless you make it so that no one can respond, in which case it's just a bit stupid. But like when you put something on Twitter, you always have to be aware that someone could comment back against that, and not always in agreement with you as well. It could be, something like a completely opposite thought. So the thing is, I very rarely speak my mind on Twitter. Not because I feel like I have to censor myself. It's just sometimes I'll type something out and then I'll just go, actually, I know that person's going to comment negatively. That person's going to comment negatively.
I wish I had that ability.
And I just delete the tweet. Like I should write a book on how many tweets I've deleted. Like, because
just save them all as drafts and like print them out at some point.
But I just think there's that part of me that says, do I really need to tweet this? Like, do you know what I mean? It's dumb.
We're on the second page.
Do I really want to have a Twitter debate for the next hour over this? Or could I be coding something cool for the website or something? Do you know what I mean? So, like, that's just my mindset. Like, obviously, I'm not criticizing anybody else. If you want to dump your thoughts on Twitter, go for it, because that's the whole point of freedom of speech. But the whole point, the downside of freedom of speech is that the people that say the negative things have just as much right to say the negative things.
It goes both ways, right?
So it's up to you to take responsibility in blocking or muting, like Dom said, that person. Do you know what I mean? You have to take that into your own hands and protect yourself when you're faced with these type of people, because there's always going to be these type of people. They're never going to go away. It's like Dom says, what can we possibly do? So you need to look after yourself. And one of the ways I do that is to just, you know what I mean? Do I really need to put this on the internet? If not, crack on. Go and put a song on that you enjoy. Go and code something. Go and paint a picture. Go and do something constructive. Yeah. Go sing Tenacious D's tribute.
My husband and I have actually had a really interesting conversation multiple times about freedom of speech. And the way we differentiate this is there's freedom of speech, not freedom of speaking. So speech is an intelligent conversation where you voice your opinions and your thoughts, and you actually have an intelligent conversation with somebody about it. Freedom of speaking is those people who spew out stupid nonsense without thinking about what the consequences will be. That's the difference for me.
Here's the issue. Some people are going to take the word intelligent subjectively. So it depends on who your audience is. So
There's a noise, isn't it? Sorry, carry on.
You know, so you might hear someone saying something that sounds crazy, unintelligent to you, but in their mind, they swore that was the greatest point and they had to get it out there. And that's the whole problem with freedom of speech. It's subjective, man.
And that's everything Anthony says on the show is in that.
As true as this is going to sound, I'm going to say this, and it really upsets me that this is true, but like hate speech is still free speech, if you know what I'm saying.
It is.
And
but see that's where that's freedom of speaking, though, that people are trying to say, because hatred has no place
from consequence.
No. Yeah.
You can
so
be
you've got to look after yourself
as you want, but that doesn't mean you're free of the consequences from it.
Correct.
And a perfect example as I shift us toward the end, and I'll say big thanks to Ruben for the €2 super chat. Thanks for putting a Britney Spears song in my head, and Eli for the 20 Danish krona, who loves Joe, wants him back on the panel. Joe will absolutely have you back on. And something about Fleegoo Geegoo. I don't know what that is. Is that a British thing? Anybody have any idea what that means?
I don't know. Somebody else knows Flibble Giggle. So
Flibble Giggle. What I will say on this as we head toward the wrap up, you're exactly right that freedom of speech is not freedom from consequence, and that also applies in what we're doing here in the creator community. I had some folks get a little nasty last week when they realized all of a sudden they tagged me in a post and then noticed that I wasn't following them anymore. And lo and behold, and I even said this, I tweeted this out a couple of weeks ago, I unfollowed like 300 people and I muted probably another 100. And it's not because I don't care about you, or I'm kind of in Scarlett's boat. I don't really follow a lot of people I don't have connection with or that I don't regularly interact with. I follow a lot of folks who are creators because of booking. Here on the show, I gotta be able to get in your DMs if I'm going to book you here on the show. But for the most part, a lot of folks just get into these Twitter fights, and what happens is I see you getting into a Twitter fight. I have a thought I just have to express in this Twitter fight. So then I get in the Twitter fight, and now we're all having a Twitter fight. Whereas if I just don't see it, I'll be honest, I didn't see some of the beefs that happened this week because I don't follow those people anymore, or because I don't, or I've muted you. And I don't do that because I dislike you. I've done that because the conversations that are happening in our community, not all of them are the healthiest.
Let's be protect you, like I said.
I gotta be able to protect myself. And let's be perfectly honest. We're reaching a point in this community. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. We're reaching a point where Stadia is starting to become. This is almost going to sound bad, but I don't mean it to. It's becoming another platform. Like, Stadia is no longer the big, shiny, flashy new thing that we're all desperately crowded around. It's like the TV in the window when you've never seen a TV before. We're not really doing that anymore. But there are people in the community that are still treating it like that. So when other folks are saying, and I'm going to go do a stream on GeForce Now, they're freaking out. What do you mean you're not doing Stadia anymore? No, I didn't say that. I'm just doing a stream on GeForce
Literally Now. Not the words I typed.
There are folks in the chat right now who have renamed their channels or renamed programs that they're doing, or they're relaunching this or they're doing that. And it's because they like games and they like to play other games. Ray was a streamer that did nothing but Stadia for weeks or for months. And now he's doing Luna, and it's awesome. And he's doing other channels, and it's awesome because we're not here for Stadia.
You know what the bad thing is, though, Avery? Here's the thing. Because of, let's just be real, right? Because of the big announcement that Google made or Stadia made of closing, blah blah blah. So the studios, people, this is what is happening. If you say I'm shutting down my stream because I need to go put something in the microwave because I'm hungry. Oh, you think Stadia is dying, so you're not streaming no more. It's like, whoa, wait, hold on, what? But this is what's happening. So there's people that can't separate themselves from like the news, right? People are gonna, like, you're gonna be you're playing something, and it's just the timing. So I feel like that was recent. Now anybody do something other than Stadia, it's looked like, hey, and that's why, to be honest with you, for me, I never get that because I come in a weird place. My channel is in Now Your Mama Knows. My highest viewed video is a treadmill. Like, gaming is, so I feel like, but I watch people that get bashed for it, and it's a shame because that news started a war, because it's either, I guess you think Stadia is dying. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But the fact of the matter is, like, there's still other things. Because here's the thing, right? I heard somebody say, I won't say their name, but they said, Stadia is going to become, I don't want to play with the other people, or let's say cross play, because we're going to just get the console players. But Stadia is so new, everybody on this panel probably came from being a console player or a PC player. We migrated from something else to cloud.
Still am a
right?
PC and a
Thank you.
console
So
gamer. I mean, you guys see me play that stuff all the time.
Essentially, we're still those things. We didn't change. Like, we didn't just start playing video games because Stadia came out a year ago. We've been playing video games. So we're not just technically Stadia players. We're everything players, right? Or unless there's someone who never played a game until Stadia, and well, that's interesting. So the thing is, though, but it's just a sensitivity and a timing. And somehow people have to say, like, okay, if my opinion is, I think, let's say Stadia is dying tomorrow, oh well. Or if my opinion is, I just like the games better on Luna, it's like, oh well. But I just want to chime in there. That's what's happening. Everything's got toxic after that news, and it's like people can't have their own opinion. That is a dying. It's almost like there's a Avengers thing. You're on one side, Team Stadia is not dying, Team Stadia is dying. And if you decide to play something other than Stadia, you automatically got pushed on that side. And that's really what's happening right now. And it's unfortunate, but
and I think we're at a point where it just doesn't have to work that way. Like,
right.
You can have a PlayStation and an Xbox if you can find them. You can play on PC and play on the Switch. You can play on GeForce Now and PlayStation Now and Luna and Stadia, because we've said it before, we all have Netflix and Hulu. Like, we all, if you're in Baltimore, you're a fan of the Ravens and the Orioles. You're not just one of,
to put it simply, you can have every flavor of cake and eat it too. And it's all fine.
And we all know how much I love cake. I did not have any cake for my birthday, by the way. I had cupcake flavored cookies.
Should have had ice
delicious.
Cream cake, man.
No, cupcake cookies. They were so good. I have a bag of them that we brought home. It's so good. Joe, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. Obviously, you had such great insight, and I think you put it perfectly that, like, we all just need to play. We all just need to have fun, enjoy each other, be good to each other. Joe, if people want to find you on the internet, so a minute ago, I posted a link to your YouTube channel, and I'm going to do it right again because you are at when I started the stream, you were at 182 subscribers. Now you're at 186. Can we push you over 200 tonight? Everybody in the chat, go over, hit that sub button, come back. Let's get Joe over 200 tonight. But if people want to find you online, where can they go?
You can go to www.joe. Why did I say that? Sorry, you can go to joebarksdale.com. What's this, the 90s? You go to
http://
log on to your AOL. Okay.
www. Period.
You can go to joebarksdale.com. I leave links to my socials under all the videos too, so you can check this. Maybe I've gotten lazy with that, but usually I leave links under all the video descriptions. And
what's your Stadia name?
Stadia name?
Do he want to say that on air?
After we said all we said about the toxicity, honestly, I don't know my Stadia name. I logged in because I don't play like multiplayer.
He just
Got a load of
plays
numbers
the
at
game.
the end as well. So
He just plays the game. That's all you do.
I have no life. I'm sorry. No, it's all coming out.
None of us do.
But yeah, I'm not good at playing with other people.
That is okay. Well, check him out. His YouTube channel. I put the link in 195. We've added 13 tonight. So
I
made
just
it worth something.
I just subscribed to you with 4 of my channels.
Thank you.
196. There you go.
And we got Dan's album coming out. We just need $50 more.
Dan's album. Don't do that. People in the chat. Link.
Yeah.
I guess
Well,
it's actually
do
like
it.
$25 more apparently.
Save it.
If
Save
y'all
it
want
for
to
next
drop
week.
an album, we're gonna need a couple thousand. Albums ain't cheap.
That's true.
That's true.
You know,
That's
we're gonna need to
And
mix and match.
speaking as a guy who's released an EP, like it clearly knows it ain't cheap. But I mean, you know, we know a guy that plays guitar. So if you really need, you know, we got to hook up. What is with Figgle Giggle? What is up with you people
From
saying
Tribute,
oh,
Tenacious D.
Oh!
No.
All right, there you go.
There you go, Link.
There you go.
You got it. Flip it.
The
Flip
last
it.
part was
Save it.
pretty
Put
good.
it on
Record
Spotify.
that.
That's what everyone.
That's what they were after.
That's
Put it
too
on
short.
Spotify. There you go. Coming up on the podcast, next week's special guest is the one and only Todd Oxtra, host of the awesome Secret Friends Unite podcast, on which Scarlett has been a guest, and I will be a guest on that podcast next month. And in case you didn't hear me last week, you must not miss next week's show. Everybody, I'm telling you right now, do not miss next week's show. We have a major announcement to make, and you're gonna wanna be there. And the following week, we are so thrilled to be joined by Jake and Aaron from the fantastic Speaking of Stadia podcast. Those guys are awesome. They're going to be in the show on April 8th, so tune in both of those times. Check out the Stream Team Dream Team playing all week long right here on the Source Feed Live, including Scarlett's Ready Gamer 1 at some point, All-Purpose Champs Power Up Plus happening right after this show, F10do's Dad Time Gaming and Brews and Bruises, Dom, Stadia Domination, and Dawn by Daylight, Blue Bob's The Break Even Point, The Hotspot with EJ Mixed, and next Friday, after the show on the 1st, I am going to be streaming, doing a Friday Night Live show on Friday, April the 2nd, streaming a very cool video game that you're going to want to check out. So I'm not going to say anything more about it. Friday Night Live, it's going to be an open mic, AMA, and stream. If you are watching us live, and so many of you here are watching us live, we absolutely and entirely appreciate you. Fantastic chat tonight. You guys have definitely been contributing and participating. You can't tell at all that I'm stalling because, once again, I didn't have the screen pulled up that I always need to have pulled up, but it's okay because I have got it pulled
I think you do that on purpose at this point. I think that's part of the show.
It's part of it. It's the charm. It's the charm, you know? And we want to thank all those folks who do support us, including the insane super chats we got tonight, and the folks in the Crystal tier, including Stadia Vet Gaming, and Jack and Stadia streamer as well. The Platinum tier, Nerf Report in the chat right now, Chase the Gaming Advocate, Link TV, again with the support, Jack and myself, the gold tier, the silver tier, the bronze tier, and those folks who bought us a coffee, as well as all of our past patrons. If you want to join that list, hit one of these two buttons at the bottom of the page. We really absolutely appreciate all of you who do that. That just leaves me to say goodnight to all my good friends on the round table. Dan, thank you for being on your show tonight.
Thank you for having me on my show tonight.
Dom, good to chat with you as always.
Been a pleasure as always.
Mr. Anthony, we'll see you here in just a little bit for your stream.
It's been an amazing adventure.
Okay. And Scarlett, good to have you as always.
Bye, fam.
If you are listening to us as a podcast, you can join us live most Thursday evenings right here on YouTube. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you can download our podcast on Spotify, Pocket Casts, or wherever you get podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at StadiaSource, like us on Facebook, be kind to one another, and join our Discord at StadiaSource.com/Discord. You can even wear StadiaSource when you're out and about by going to StadiaSource.com/merch. And you've got 1 week left, 1 to 2 weeks left to get
before some things change.
You got a little bit of time to get the 2020 merch is leaving the store for some 2021 merch. So head
basically,
over
I had
StadiaSource.com.
too much fun with making fun stuff.
Yes, yes, she did. StadiaSource.com/merch. Hosting for StadiaSource.com generously provided by Rock. If you're looking for a web developer, want to launch the next big app, or just find yourself in need of some technical expertise, check out all the services provided by Rock at rokk.co.uk. If you haven't already, deal with it, Dom. And if you haven't already, down below is a thumbs up button that lets us know you like the show, and right next to it is a subscribe button that lets you know every time we post a new video. You can also become a member of Stadia Source right here on YouTube by clicking the join button down below with great perks at every of your level of your budget. I've been your host, Avery, and on behalf of Stadia Source, your number one source for Stadia news and reviews, thank you for joining us for the Roundtable Podcast. Have a good one.